Well, hello, folks. We're the Lingenhoels with Keller Williams Chervenic Realty. I'm Arden.
And I'm Lisa.
And we're joined today by Cindy Petitti Walton. And we're here at the greenhouse. We are live at the greenhouse.
Yay!
Hey, Rob, give us a little pan of the beauty in here.
It's so awesome.
There's a lot of cool things in here, Cindy.
Yeah.
Well, thanks. It's not as beautiful as it was in May, but in July, a lot of things are gone.
Probably not as much color, right?
Not as much color
Yeah,
now. Right.
yeah. Well, I am going to give this to my wife. I picked this today. Sorry, I hope you don't mind.
Not at all. No.
So I'm going to give this to my wife,
honey.
and
You're so sweet.
I always give her flowers. So here.
Well, and a plant
I don't want
better.
that. I don't want that to get on your white. I don't want it to get on your white pants.
That way, it doesn't. A cut flower is going to die in a week.
That's true.
Hopefully,
That's true.
this is going to last longer. Right.
Thanks, honey.
Exactly.
Did you know he was going to do that?
I did not.
Hey, make sure you pay for it on the way out.
I know. But anyway, we are glad to be inside because I think it was raining a little bit outside. It's been raining a lot. Does that mean you don't have to water?
That does not mean we don't have to water. There's a roof, unfortunately.
Oh, yeah.
And so we still have to water in here.
Oh, that stinks. Well, the outside plants are getting freebies.
Actually, not really either. There's not enough that goes down into the plant.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to learn a lot today.
Right.
It's still,
We can make it green.
Yeah, it's not green. But anyway, we are going to talk a little bit about the greenhouse and Cindy's background and what made her the entrepreneur she is today. And, do you ever get confused with Petitti?
Home and garden centers?
Yes.
All the time.
You look so rich because you got all these home and garden centers.
Yes, exactly. Right. So people come in all the time thinking that it's the same. We run the same sales. No, we're no affiliation. Actually, my late husband, Tony, was a seventh cousin to Angelo, who owns the 9 large greenhouses. So no affiliation whatsoever. Never have been. It's not like we split off. Nothing like that. We actually celebrated 100 years in business last year.
Wow.
My late husband's great-grandfather started the business in 1924 with a reel mower, a reel.
R-E-E-L.
Right, a reel mower.
Yeah.
When he first got here from Italy. And started a little mowing business. And in the mid-50s, my late father-in-law took over his grandfather's business. And then in 95, my husband and I bought the business from my father-in-law. And then we bought the greenhouse in July of '03. So,
oh my goodness. A lot of history there.
A lot of history.
Time flies and you're having fun.
Exactly.
So, and if you go completely through her establishment here, you'll see all kinds of things. You got fertilizers, you got sprays, you got about anything you can think of to take care of your plants. So you don't really have to have a green thumb, do you, Cindy?
No, you really don't, because you have Cindy.
Oh, you got Cindy.
You have Cindy.
All right.
So I'm going to help you out.
Okay, sounds good. But hey, before we get into it, we want to talk about what?
Second Friday.
Yeah.
Hey, it's coming up. And guess what? I am going to be there.
Okay.
With our grandchildren.
Our grandchildren are coming up, so we're going to be there.
Yes.
We might not stay real late because they go to bed, I think, at 7.
Oh, wow.
Let's hope.
Maybe 8.
Yeah.
We'll let them up till 8.
No, probably till 8. Probably till now we're going to stay out a little later.
We want them to sleep in.
Their parents are not going to be around. So we are going to keep them out late so they'll sleep in the next day because we are babysitting for, oh my gosh, 5 days. So we need to wear them out a little bit.
We can do this. We got this.
Yeah, I hope we got this. I hope we got this. So we are excited to be downtown on Friday night.
Yep.
I believe it is the Love Boat. Help me out, Rob. Come on.
It is Overboard the Love Boat Band.
Overboard the Love Boat.
All right.
So
Fan favorite.
So some great music.
We love listening to his radio voice
I
or
know.
television voice.
Tell us some more, Rob.
You'll also have the Louisville Rotary Farmers Market down in the St. Louis parking lot. There's going to be a Louisville bike parade. The library is going to sponsor that. So they're going to have a bike parade for the kids.
Okay.
St. Louis Church Youth Group and the YMCA are both going to have activities for the kids.
Awesome.
So there's going to be plenty to do down there. So obviously, come down and enjoy the fun. It's truly a community coming together now.
Yay.
Wow, great.
Okay, Rob's helping me out because I just got off a plane from Utah. So that's good. That's good. So we want to see everybody out and about. Cindy, are you going to come out?
We are doing Bible school at our church this week.
Okay.
So we won't finish up till about 8:30. So I'm going to be that late group that comes over. But yeah, we're excited about being there too.
Awesome.
Oh, good.
Awesome.
I first met Cindy. We were just talking about this before we aired this, and we met back in, was it 03 we met?
02.
02.
Yeah, you sold our house on Victory Avenue in 02.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so they made a transition at that point, her and Anthony. Anthony did pass away.
Correct.
And it was before you opened the...
So we bought here in 03. So we sold our house there, bought a house in Shallow Creek.
Right.
And then we bought this in 03, July of 03.
Okay.
Tony's accident happened in August of 05. So he was only here for 2 years here at the greenhouse.
Yeah.
And then that's when I downsized our landscaping division. And just did some custom landscaping, some custom design work, which I still do because that's where my history comes from, was a landscape designer and consultations. So that was how I met Tony back in the early 90s and as a freelance landscape designer. And so I still did some of that. In 05, his accident happened. I started to rearrange how we were going to do things. And then in 07, my father-in-law was diagnosed with cancer. And they asked him what chemical company he had worked for, because of course he was older and retired. They asked him what chemical company he had worked for because the chemical levels in his body were so high that they were sure that that's where his cancer had started from. And of course, you know, that old Italian man, well, I've been a landscaper all my damn life.
Yeah, yeah.
And the doctor was like, oh, yeah.
That's
why. So I came back to the greenhouse that day in tears. You know, it had just been 2 years since I'd lost my husband, and here my father-in-law was, dying. They told us, literally a couple months, and that's really what he lasted, was a couple months. And I said, guys, we're going to go organic.
Wow.
We are not going to use chemicals here anymore. I had called Jerry Doherty, called Wayne out at Mott's, and asked them, what did your family die of? Everyone was dying of cancer. And I'm like, you know what? We're just not going to do this anymore.
Yeah.
And I have some really good friends that own garden centers and greenhouses around, and they were like, honey, you can't do this. You're still grieving. You don't make a rash decision. You just can't do that. You're not going to make it. And I said, I really feel that God's telling me this is the way I need to go.
Yeah.
I have to do this. And so we just started right then. I had lockers full of chemicals here. And I'm like, I don't know what I'm going to do with all, but we're going to lock them in the lockers. And that's what I did. Within a year, we took those things that we sold chemical-wise off of our shelves. We sell no Miracle-Gro products, no Ortho products. Nothing against those products, but they are owned by a big company that we did not want to support any longer. So they said, don't do it. And I'm like, you know what? I really feel this is what God's telling me to do. And we're going to really try to push being healthy, raising plants organically, but sort of like the way God intended. And so that's what we did. And here we are. That was 07.
Wow.
And so we went organic when organic wasn't cool. Now it's very trendy to be organic. I'm organic. But we were organic when it was scary, and not knowing if this is really what we should have done, but we did it.
Yeah.
And so for all those years, practically 20 years, we've been organic here at the greenhouse. So we raise everything with no synthetic fertilizers and no chemical insecticides or fungicides. And we tell people how to take care of their vegetable gardens that way. Now, if you want to use a synthetic fertilizer on your hanging baskets or your flowers that are in a pot, by all means, it is going to keep them looking beautiful. But in the earth, we're really recommending that you use an organic fertilizer so that you feed the soil, and then the soil will feed the plant. So using an all-natural fertilizer is going to keep the good microbes growing in the soil. It's going to keep the earthworms moving around, and all of that is going to feed the plant and keep it healthy. And then eating healthy is going to make you healthy. So anything that you're consuming, and we carry all of those things in the springtime. You know, we don't just have tomatoes and peppers. We grow weird things for your garden, like arugula and parsnips and rutabaga and eggplant and every kind of squash imaginable. So all these things that you can have in your garden.
Yeah.
Well, you got some fertilizer makers back there.
I do have fertilizer makers back there.
The natural fertilizer makers.
We surely do. So that was another big change. In 2008, my daughter left for college, and I'm like, how am I going to afford to feed this child in college organically? And so I decided, you know what, that first year she lived in the dorm, so I had that time to do that, to figure all that out. But we started farming again. So we raise our own beef, hogs, goats, chickens, ducks, turkeys, and then we sell all the meat by the piece here, just sort of like the grocery store that a lot of people don't know. And then all of those animals are raised organically. And then our pork, when it's processed like the bacon and the hams with no nitrates and no nitrites. Because a lot of people, if you're conscientious about the animal being fed organically, you want to make sure that you're not taking in those nitrates and those nitrites too.
Processed correctly.
Processed correctly as well. So we have our animals processed that way also. So we have our own fertilizer makers.
I know.
And then all of that goes into our compost pile. And then we mix that compost with our soil, and then we make our own super soil. So you can have like a wonderful soil for your vegetable gardens, or if you're making new raised beds, you know, we're going to have that great soil. That manure has all been composted over a year. We work it all together. We have a topsoil screener that we screen it all together, screens out all the big stuff that still needs more composting, and then it's all worked together, and you have all of that. Besides, we sell, you know, potting soil and things that you would need for your containers, but we also have it bulk, and we also sell just bulk compost. We carry Bull Country Compost. That's a local company out of Dundee, and we use all of our compost to make our soil, so we need someone else's compost to sell if someone needs additional compost. So we sell Bull Country's compost as well.
Wow.
Hey,
wow.
That was a lot of information.
I know.
You're a wealth of information. Hey, we're going to take a little break, and we're going to walk around here and enjoy the sights, and then we're going to come right back, and we're going to talk a little bit more about what's going on here.
Okay.
All right.
Great. Thanks.
Thanks.
Are you looking for a quality pre-owned vehicle with a great price? Then check out Ted's Auto Sales. Ted's has a great selection of vehicles and will find you the right one that fits your needs. Ted's was founded on trust, integrity, and respect, and has been serving in the Louisville, Ohio and Nimishillen Township area for over 65 years. So call Ted's today at 330-875-9401. Ted's Auto Sales, Louisville's premium pre-owned dealer.
Did you know that when you invest in your smile, you're investing back into your Stark County community? Welcome to Thomas Dental. My name's Tanya. I'm Dr. Mike's practice manager. Every day, we're investing back into our community. Here are just a few of our community efforts. Here at Thomas Dental, our mission is bringing smiles back to our community, one smile at a time.
Hello everyone, I'm Tegan Evans. As many of you know, when the Louisville Herald moved on into retirement, the city of Louisville, Nimishillen Township, and all of its community members were left with a void. The community lost its ability to hear about local events, news, information, sports, and community projects. We lost the ability to come together for Louisville's betterment. Well, we have a solution for you, Spotlight Media Network. Spotlight Media Network is a place anyone can go, whether it be social media, YouTube, or our website, that will display information in different formats to show the best Louisville has to offer. One last thing, if you have something newsworthy or something you would like the community of Louisville to hear about, send us an email at spotlightlouisville1@gmail.com. So if you want to see what is happening in Louisville or the best Louisville has to offer, check out Spotlight Media Network, where we know Louisville is #1.
Hi, folks. Arden and Lisa back with Cindy Petitti Walton here at Anthony Petitti's Garden Center. Organic Greenhouse.
Make sure you get that, Arden. Organic Greenhouse.
Don't beat up on me. I'm sorry.
I'm going to beat up on you. There's a big sign
This is my
out there.
first remote video.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You guys usually do them in the
We do them in the
studio.
We do in
This is
the
very
studio.
This is super cool.
Yeah, I didn't get my makeup on this
Oh my
morning.
goodness. Oh no.
So anyway, hey, we got some questions.
Okay.
We don't have a teleprompter because
Okay.
Lisa always has a teleprompter.
Oh, okay.
I
And
usually
so-
have a screen. Well,
So I got to
yes.
read these.
Okay.
Okay.
Do you need my glasses?
No, I
Yeah.
might.
We'll give
What
it
types of plants or products are you most known for? What makes them special? And what makes your selection unique compared to other garden centers or retailers?
So the plants that we are known for are edibles. You know, your tomatoes, all of those things that you're going to eat. So, and then known for having different things. So we also carry, you know, not just tomatoes and peppers and those kind of vegetables that you think about going to the greenhouse in May to get, but we also carry strawberries and blueberries and raspberries, and not just raspberries, but we carry black raspberries and red raspberries and golden raspberries.
Wow.
And, you know, 3 different kinds of each, and black raspberries and black berries and elderberries and gooseberries, you know,
Oh my
all
gosh.
of this realm, as well as fruit trees. So, you know, if you want to grow your own fruit trees organically, we have those as well. Pawpaw trees. Pawpaw trees is a native Ohio fruit grown more in southern Ohio, but pawpaws are grown right here. There is a gentleman in Hartville that raises lots of pawpaw trees. It's a very unique fruit, but extremely, extremely healthy, very high in antioxidants.
Okay.
So something that everyone should grow, I think. Everyone should grow a pawpaw tree. But
Write
that's
that
what
down.
we're known for, you know, and that's what makes us unique and different than other, you know, there are some other great garden centers and greenhouses in our area, but I don't grow the most beautiful geranium. That's Jerry Doherty. He does that. He knows that.
Yeah.
And there's like no one grows a mum like Wayne at Mott's.
Oh,
And that's just spectacular. But we're known for those edibles, getting every herb that you can imagine. We grow eucalyptus, you know, those kind of crazy things. That's a lot of medicinal things as well as, you know, regular edibles. So that's what we're known for. Yeah.
Can you share a little bit about what happens day to day, behind the scenes? What's a typical day like for you?
So I usually arrive here around 6:30 a.m.
Okay.
I, you know, do the register stuff that goes through as it Z's out through over the night. You do all that kind of stuff, and then start feeding animals, and then I'll start watering. Then I check emails, and you know, so those are those things that you have to do, you know, all the time. You know how it is you have to feed your animals every day. They don't really take a vacation. And then we'll start watering because we want to get the watering done early in the morning, especially this time of year before it gets hot, you know, because it's best to get it done. Now, we always have to water midday anyhow, but if everything gets a really good hard drink early in the morning, it's best for the plant. And that's just like at home. If you have a hanging basket and you wait till the evening to water it, every day it's struggling.
Yeah, did you water my ferns while I was away?
I watered your ferns.
Oh, good. Okay. But it's best to water in the morning. And people were like, why do I need to get up 10 minutes early so I can water my plants? I'm like, how would you feel if you got up got ready for work, went to work all day, and never took a drink of water until you came home from work, you'd be pretty parched.
Yeah.
Well, so is your plant. So water it in the morning, give it a nice drink in the morning. They're going to do much better for you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Okay.
You mentioned elderberries. I found a couple wild elderberry bushes.
Ooh, wow.
I was so
Those are
excited.
great. Yes.
My mom is going to make me an elderberry
Very-
cobbler. Cobbler.
Elderberry cobbler. That's great.
But I got to hang the pie plates up because they're starting to.
The birds are coming. Yep.
They're coming.
Mine are in full bloom too,
So-
so it won't be long. So we don't
Well, back to the subject.
Sorry.
Do you have any advice for somebody who's just starting out with a garden?
It's all about the soil.
Okay.
So don't just start planting a garden.
Okay.
Prepare your soil. You know, if you haven't started a garden yet, maybe do a tomato in a pot this year.
Okay.
You know, you don't have to do this whole big garden. Start out with a tomato. Don't overwhelm yourself.
Okay.
And then this year, prepare your soil so that next year you're prepared, because it's all about the soil. If you have really good soil, you're going to have a good root system. And if you don't have a good root system, you are not going to have a strong plant. And it's sort of just like us. If we're not rooted in what we believe, people can sway us. But if you're rooted in what you believe, no one is going to sway you. And that's just like your plant. You want to have a big, nice, deeply rooted plant, so it's all about the soil.
That brings me to the main question.
Okay.
What about those? You don't see them anymore. Those stupid upside down buckets with tomatoes.
Because they didn't work that well.
That's what.
So what happens in that situation? The bucket's up here. The root system is up here, getting all that hot sun on it.
Yeah.
And you're just roasting your root system.
Yeah.
And then you have to water it all the time, but the water just keeps running out.
Yeah.
So your root system is never really getting the water and the nutrients that it needs. So
Okay.
that's why you don't see the topsy-turvy.
You don't see that much
You don't
anymore.
see that much anymore. It was very trendy and very popular for a while.
It was.
Yeah,
it was. What about one plant, like in here, that you think everyone or somebody should try to grow one time? Try at least one time to grow it.
That's really so hard, because I think everyone should try to grow a tomato.
A tomato.
But that's outside.
Okay.
But for a house plant, I think everyone should try to grow a house plant also, because even though house plants are not my passion, house plants though are great for the air in your home. So even, you know, in the summertime, our houses are closed up. In the wintertime, our houses are closed up. The only time we have our windows open is in the spring and in the fall, and that's a very short period of time. So we're not getting great airflow. But to clean the air in your home when we're closed up, it's very important to try to grow a house plant. Probably a pothos is like one of the most popular and easy to grow. We all used to call them a philodendron. They have new little trendy names. But yeah, those are going to be great. There's, you know, like the snake plant is very popular right now. But some plant that has some really good leaf structure that's going to clean the air in your home. So there's really two. One for the inside your house, and then one for outside your house. Now, of course, everybody likes flowers, but I'm all about feeding your body. You know, what you need to feed it. So I'm all about the tomato.
I see all this. I think it's maybe a trend. Is succulents.
Yeah.
Is that a trend?
Succulents are a trend, but house plants go in cycles.
Okay.
So succulents were really, really popular in the 70s. If you were into house plants in the 70s, everyone had succulents. It was crazy.
Yeah.
And succulents are what? Tell them.
Succulents are a plant similar to a cactus, but they don't have thorns. But they're a very thick leafed plant.
Okay.
So they store lots and lots of moisture in their leaf tissue, so they can go long periods of time with no water.
Gotcha.
So you water them really good, because in their native habitat, they go for months and months with no rain, and then they literally have monsoon floods. And so then they soak up all this moisture, and they soak up so much, then they can go for a month without any water again.
Well, that's why they're popular. You don't have to water them.
Exactly. That's why they're popular, because they're easy.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, they're great. They are very good.
Interesting. Very interesting. So let's talk about community.
Okay.
I know that you are involved in the community.
I am.
You do quite a bit, and I believe you do some things here. You've done some workshops.
We do. We do a lot of classes here.
Yeah, classes.
Right. We do a lot of classes, usually tailored to educating you on how to take care of your plants correctly.
Yeah.
But we also do, like, on the food side. So I do a pruning class to teach you how to properly prune your shrubs outside so that you're not just hacking them, you know. So we do a class like that.
Arden.
But then we also do like a seed starting class, and we do that in February. So if you want to start your own seed, your own vegetable seeds, you know how to do it properly. The temperature that the soil should be to have maximum germination, those kind of things. And then I do canning classes. So if you are growing this great big garden and you have all these green beans and you don't know what to do with them.
Right.
And then in the fall, we do a homesteading workshop. So if you're thinking about, you know, having some trends in your garden that you want to do sort of that homesteader, not be a total homesteader, but learn some of those skills. We do that homesteading workshop, and in that workshop it includes usually 5 different classes: medicinal and edible weeds, backyard chicken farming, and processing. And we actually process birds here because I have the whole processing. I have a plucker.
All right.
Got myself a plucker.
Oh my gosh.
And a scalder. We got it all.
Scalder and a plucker.
Scalder and a plucker. And then, so we do that. We do a food preservation class.
Yeah.
And that preservation class covers canning, freezing, dehydrating, fermentation, and pickling. So we touch on all of those topics. And then I do a soil nutrition class during that workshop.
Yeah.
And then my wonderful husband, Brian Wilton, cooks over an open fire using Dutch ovens.
Yeah.
And then everyone, at the end, we have a Q&A time, and they get to sample all the food that he made over the fire.
Oh, I love Dutch ovens. Her brother cooks with Dutch ovens all the time.
So it's great. We always do.
Cowboy beans.
Yeah. We do all different kinds of things. So everybody gets to sample that and see, you know, if it came down to you had to go a week with no electricity, you could cook. You could do these things.
Yeah.
You can survive. You can survive. You can take care of your family. So,
Wow.
So we do a lot of classes like that. And then we'll do houseplant classes.
Yeah.
But yeah, we do a lot of classes throughout the season.
Oh my goodness.
Well, Cindy, why don't you kind of give everybody an idea how to get a hold of you?
Okay.
Because, you know, this lady's a wealth of knowledge, so you need to get a hold of her as soon as possible. You're going to be inundated in phone calls here. Is
Sounds great.
Is that okay?
That's perfectly fine, yes.
All right, so go
we
ahead.
are at 5828 Columbus Road in Nimishillen Township. Our phone number is 330-455-5997, and you can call me anytime. You can also get a hold of me on Facebook. It's Anthony Petitti Organic Greenhouse, and you can message me any of your questions. That's always great because you can send me a photo too. Calling me on the phone sometime, I can't see your issue.
Yeah.
So if you send me a photo, you can email me at cindypetitti@gmail.com. So when I can see that photo, you know, you send me a photo of this leaf, and I can say, you know, right here you have a little discoloration. Don't worry about that. It was just from a little additional sun. It might have got a little dry once, those kind of things. Or, oh my goodness, I see an insect on there, you know, and this is what you need to do. And then we also have a website. It's petittis.com, petittisorganic.com. And we update that monthly, and it has a calendar of events, so it will have all of our classes that we have going on, specials for the month, all of those kind of things on there.
Wow.
Okay, I don't know if you know the answer to this, so it'll probably stump you.
Okay.
Okay, so if we don't want to use Roundup or other weed killers and things like that, do you have a special little mixture that you could put together?
Well, we do, and we sell a couple really good organic weed controls.
Okay.
Bonide is a company that has a wide line of organic controls. You know, insecticides, fungicides, but they also have a great weed control. It's called Captain Jack's Dead Weed Brew, and it is a mixture of some citric acid, a few essential oils. It does work great. Another thing that works great is high percentages of vinegar. So you're not going to go to the grocery store and buy a bottle of vinegar and control your weeds.
You're going to buy a big barrel.
No, you're going to come here and you're going to buy 47% vinegar.
Oh, okay.
Now, it's strong, so you got to really be careful. It doesn't take a lot, and you aren't going to saturate your soil. because that vinegar is going to get into your soil and
Right.
change the pH of your soil.
Okay.
You just want to spray the leaf tissue, that herbaceous part of the leaf. But I do my fence line because I don't want to do my fence line with Roundup,
Yeah.
because I don't want my cows around that.
Yeah.
So I do it with the vinegar, and it is just amazing how it will keep the weeds under
wow.
control.
Oh, that's great.
Okay.
That's
Yeah,
great.
it works very well.
I might have to use that.
That's great.
Yeah, it works out good.
Hey,
All
you
right.
didn't stump her. You can't
No,
stump her.
you can't stump her.
Yeah.
I've been doing this a long time.
So when you sell a house, no, I'm just kidding. I could
I was going to say,
I could
you'll stump
stump
me
you
there.
on that.
You'll stump me on that for sure.
You know, folks, we are so glad to have Cindy with us today, and what a show.
Thank you.
What a show.
Thank you so much.
Great show.
Awesome.
You know, I want to talk a little bit about the housing market. The housing market is still in great shape, and we are still selling homes. And, you got to call us because we're going to come out and do the job that you want us to do on your house. And if you're looking for a house, you call Lisa. She's our professional house shower.
I love to shop.
But yeah, get a hold of us and we'll be glad to help you out and talk to you about your house. So thanks for joining us, and we will talk to you soon.
Have a great week, everybody. See you on Friday.